Welcome to another episode of Phoenix Reads. I'm not feeling the greatest, so if I clear my throat a whole lot today, or take a lot more drinks and make a little bit more pauses, I do apologize in advance for that. I don't know, yesterday I woke up and my throat was a little bit dry and just felt kind of trashy, I guess. And then I took medicine and everything for it. See, there we go. But yeah, I'm gonna repeat this whole thing on the recording too, so we're just gonna go ahead, and my phone went to sleep. Wake up. We're just gonna go ahead and roll right into it though. Just go ahead and get started. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Phoenix Reads. Today's episode is a series of Today I Fucked Up. That's right, y'all, it is Fucked Up Friday. As usual, I don't read any of the stories I'm about to read with you. I will leave any usernames in the description if you want to go and leave your own opinion on their post, given it is still up. My username for Reddit is in the description. Feel free to tag me in stories you'd like to hear me read. Let's get started. Hey, I didn't fuck it up this time. I didn't accidentally end the wrong thing. Or try to. That's what I tried to do that one time, and I can't believe I did that. Gotta make sure Oh yeah, I forgot I got rid of all the other music backgrounds except for the ones that I use. For now, anyway, until I decide to switch it up on myself again. Okay. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing good. We're just doing the Today I Fucked Up one, so we shouldn't need any writing today. So, but I am, as usual, getting ready to experience all the secondhand cringe with all of you, and I just, almost knocked everything over again. Today's not my day, I guess. Shark Week started, and the ladies that those that know. I'm sick. Everything's just all fucked up. What a perfect day for a fucked up Friday, I guess. What else? What else can go wrong? I hope nothing else. I'm trying to adjust this again, because heaven forbid I ever find something that I like and stick with it. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started though. Hey everybody, I hope you guys are all enjoying your Friday. A little heads up, I am sick. So if I sound a little bit funny, if I clear my throat a little bit more, if I take a few more pauses and take a few more drinks than I usually do in any episode, that is why. So it's kind of a whole fun day, but you know what? It's better to just get it done and over with than to try and wait and then have a bunch build up. I've been taking medicine for it, so I don't feel as bad as I did when I woke up this morning, and I think that's a positive. So we're just gonna go ahead and roll right into it and get started. Today I fucked up by messing around in Singapore and getting canned as punishment. How the fuck are you talking about canned as in the whole joke for Looney Tunes, they put you in a, I mean obviously not, but do they mean fired? Because, I haven't heard anybody use the word, canned as to be fired in a very long time. So, yeah, let's see where this goes. Sorry. I was born in Singapore. I spent most of my childhood abroad and only moved back at 17. Maybe if I grew up there, I would have known more seriously how they treat crime and misbehavior. Sorry, I'm going to be taking a lot of drinks during this, I guess. I didn't pay much attention in school and got involved in crime in my late teens and earlier 20s, eventually escalating to robbery. I didn't use a real weapon, but pretended I had one, and it worked well for a while in place where most people are unaccustomed to street crime until inevitably I eventually got caught. This was during the early pandemic, so maybe factored that in when giving me a comparably short prison term at only 2 years, but I think the judge made up for it by ordering 12 strokes of the cane, a bit higher than I expected. I don't know from firsthand experience because I have never been to jail or prison. Knock on wood for that. but I feel like getting hit with a cane 12 times would outweigh going to jail. Personally, just my opinion. Like, I think I'd rather get hit 12 times via a cane in any part of my body rather than going to jail. I knew it would hurt, but I had no idea how bad it would actually be. Prison was no fun, of course, but the worst was that they don't tell you what day you're caning. Oh, caning. Okay, so it's caned, not canned, because it's C-A-N-E-D. I just thought it was the word canned, spelled weird, but it's caned. Now this makes more sense. So every day I wondered if today would be the day. I started to get very anxious after hearing a couple of other prisoners say how serious it is. They left me in that suspense for the first 14 months of my sentence or so, until I began to try to hope, after hundreds of false alarms of guards walking by the cell for some other purpose, that maybe they'd forgotten or something, and it would never happen. But nope. Finally, I was told that today's the day. I had to submit for a medical exam, and a doctor certified that I was fit to receive my punishment. My heart was racing all morning, and finally I was led away to be caned. It's done in private, outside the sight of any other prisoners. It's not supposed to be a public humiliation event like in Shahara. The punishment rather comes from the pain. I had to remove my clothes and was strapped down to the device to hold me in place for the caning. There was a doctor there, and some officers worked to set up some protection over my back so that only my buttocks was exposed. I mean, to be fair, if they're going to only do that area, why not just have you pull your pants down to your knees, I guess? I don't know. Maybe there's like some other thing to it. Maybe it's probably protocol, but I don't know. It's just, that's how my brain works, I guess. I had to thank the caning officers for carrying out my sentence to teach me a lesson. I tried to psych myself up, thinking, okay, it's 12 strokes, I can do this. But finally, the first stroke came. I remembered the noise of it was so loud, and then the pain was so shocking and intense. I cried out in shock and agony. I then tried to get away, but I couldn't move. By the third stroke, I could barely think straight. I remember feeling like my brain was on fire and the pain was all over my body, not just on the buttocks. I think I was crying, but things became blurry after that in my memory. I remember the doctor checking to see if I was still fit for caning at one point and giving the go-ahead to continue. After the 12th stroke, they released me, but I couldn't move. I would assume that would hurt very, very badly, in all fairness. Yes, to the point where you probably couldn't move. 2 officers had to help me hobble off. They doused the wounds with antiseptic spray and then took me back to a cell to recover. My brain felt like it was melting from the pain, so my sense of time is probably a bit distorted from that day. But I remember I collapsed down in the cell and either passed out or went to sleep. But little did I realize that the real punishment of caning is more the aftermath than the caning itself. I would assume so, because I'm sure, all the healing from that, because I'm assuming they don't sorry, I'm so sorry, give me a second. I hate being sick. I'm not stuffed up or anything, it's just that everything's building up in the back of my throat, and I'd rather not spit on camera. I can only assume that the feeling of healing is what hurts, because that area is going to be very tight and very, very sore and very sensitive. And so I can only assume moving around, having to go to the bathroom, having to wipe, that would suck. Yep. When I woke up, the pain was still incredibly intense, but not so much that it was distorting my mind, which almost made it worse in a way. My buttocks had swollen immensely, and any pressure on it felt like fire that immediately crippled me, almost worse than a kick to the groin. Again, I don't know how that feels, so any men, feel free to sound off in the comments. My first time I had to use the toilet, I was filled with dread because of the pain. I managed to do it squatting instead of sitting, but still, just the motion of going number 2 agitated all the wounds, and the pain was so sudden and intense that I threw up. I tried to avoid eating for a week because I didn't want to have to use the toilet. Also understandable. After a couple of days, the officers told me I couldn't lay naked in my cell anymore and had to wear clothes. Yikes. a dog. This was scary because they would agitate the wounds. I spent most of the day trying to lay face down and totally still because even small movements would hurt so bad as the clothes rustled against it. This continued for about a month before things started to heal. Goodness, imagine having something like that for a month. That would be like the longest month of my life, I'm not gonna lie. And even then, these actions remained very painful, just not cripplingly painful. I didn't sit or lay on my back for many months. By the time I got out of prison, I had mostly recovered, but even to this day, there are severe scars and the area can be a bit sensitive. Yeah, I'm very sure that you have scars from that. It was way worse than I expected the experience to be. I know it's my fault, but I do wish my parents had warned me more about the seriousness of justice here when we moved back. Even here in America, I think we've heard about how bad the punishment in Singapore can be. So, they don't it's not called fucking around and finding out for no reason. But at the same time, I feel like it's crazy that you would think that it's some kind of joke, I guess. I don't know. I understand wanting to find somebody to blame, but, like, it being your parents, like, you should have told me how bad it was. Like, would you have believed them if they had? Seriously? Though I know I wouldn't have listened as a stupid teen. Thankfully, they were supportive when I got out and I'm getting back on my feet, literally and metaphorically. TLDR, got caught for a robbery in Singapore, found out the judicial caning is way worse than I ever imagined. And now we are about to do a whole 180 from a serious story to a very on par for Fucked Up Fridays fucked up story. Also, I just want to apologize in advance for the recording. For anybody listening via recording, it sounds a little off in my ears, and I can't tell if it's my headphones that are going out or this mic. But I will be listening before I post this, and I'm really hoping that it's not my mic. Hold on. I'm gonna take that off. I'm gonna take that off and see if that helps. Oh, I think it did. I think it's this thing. My sound reducer thing. Yes, this sounds a little bit better. Not like terribly so I'm worried that it's my mic, but we're just gonna continue on and hope that next time I guess I might just be using my phone's microphone, which I started out doing, so it's not like that's a big deal. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and finish this episode and see where this goes. I apologize in advance. Today, this is a not safe for work, so that seems very on par for most of our Fucked Up Fridays. Today I fucked up stories. This one, however, the title Dead Ass gives it away, and it is very much not safe for work. I am warning you now. I feel like I've given you plenty of time to prepare yourself. Today I fucked up by learning that I can suck myself off. It is very hard to look you guys in the face via YouTube and say those words. It all started about 2 months ago when I was at Hangout with my college friends. We were just drinking and goofing around. Usually these hangouts end with a truth or a dare, where the dare progressively gets worse. When it was my turn, I thought I was picking the coward's way out by picking truth, but in retrospect, I should have picked dare. Sorry, this is just sounding even worse. Give me a second. This is picking up, like, all, like, my breaths, and it sounds way worse than it usually does. So we're putting this thing back on and just gonna deal with it. But in retrospect, I should have picked dare. I was simply asked, have you ever tried to suck your own cock? To which I said no, but all the guys thought I was lying, and it seemed somewhere in their teenage years they have been curious, tried, and failed. I think that, to be fair, I hung out with a lot of guys in high school. I didn't really hang out with a whole lot of women. And even the women I did hang out with, I'm fairly certain they all knew at least one guy, or at least 3 guys, that tried to do that themselves when they discovered how good touching themselves down there felt. So, I don't know. I think that that's just a normal guy thing, and I wouldn't bat an eyelash twice if anybody told me that they tried and failed. I would probably, like, look at them real funny if I found out that they said that they could do it. Because from what I hear, you have to be missing, like, your bottom 2 ribs or something like that to be able to bend in that position. Sorry. At first, I laughed at them, but a few days later, when I was home alone, the curiosity got the better of me. I was sure I was going to fail, so I didn't actually think about what would happen if I actually made it. Anyway, I went and locked myself in my bedroom and went for it. And a few seconds later, my tongue was touching it. I adjusted my neck and realized I could comfortably put the tip fully in my mouth. Things I never thought I would read online for views. I can't even say it's for views, just... This is something I'd never thought I would read online, ever, even in my personal time. I couldn't go any further, so I just started sucking instinctively on the tip for about a minute. In that minute, I felt an electric pulses surging throughout my body, more than any orgasm I had ever felt. I was about to come when I realized that I didn't want to come in my mouth, and it all just kind of dawned on me how weird this whole situation was. I immediately stopped and went to bed. That's what took you so long to realize how weird that was? I mean, okay, I think in all fairness, guys try to do it because they want to see if they can. I don't think any guy would actually, or I can't name a whole lot of, like, straight men that would go to completion with this. Were they able to do it? I don't know. I'm not gonna out you if you would, but I don't know. I can't imagine it being a scenario where a straight guy tries to do this, and then it goes, hey, I can do it. I should finish myself off. I don't know. I'm not fully comprehending the thought process here. The last 2 months have been living hell because I want to view that same way I did, but playing with myself or even getting oral from a partner doesn't feel as good. That's weird. I have no desire to give another person head, but I want to do it myself because it felt so good. I think it means good. But I feel it's also too weird to repeat, so yeah, I'm screwed. TLDR, tried sucking myself off out of curiosity and enjoyed it. Now other sexual acts don't feel as good. I mean, poor guy definitely screwed himself over on that one, because it's like, how do you discover something that only you can do and it feels so good that it's ruined that same act with other people? I don't even know what to say about that. I really don't. I never thought I would read the story like that, and I felt very awkward reading it. I'm not gonna lie. Alright, we're just gonna move on past that. Today I fucked up by telling my girlfriend she could use my computer cleaner to organize my spice rack, peppering us all. This poor girl, I guarantee it was not intentional. So a couple months ago, girlfriend and I first moved in together. Been great, we have lots of fun together and love it overall. I've always been an amateur cook. I like to do recipes from different cultures, and due to that I have many spices that I do use a lot. I always buy the bagged ones since they're cheaper. Oh no. But that means my spice cupboard is always a whole mess. After months of living in our new apartment, I decided it was time to get a nice spice rack and have them all in labeled containers for ease of use instead of rummaging through the mess every time I cook. I mean, I can assume that, like, the bags have some sort of labels on them to know what you're grabbing, because I know sometimes spices look the same. Like, I can imagine grabbing cinnamon and meaning to grab cayenne or something like that. So I would hope that they were organized to begin with, and or at least labeled. Now, this is the kind of task I would think to be redundant, but organizing and labeling stuff is right down my girlfriend's alley. She just loves it and was very excited at the prospect of going to pick out pretty labels and identify my spices for me. She has a very pleasing handwriting, much more than me. See, neither my husband nor I have like great, like very like pretty handwriting, so this would be up neither one of our alleys. Like, I would enjoy organizing it, but I would hate labeling it, because I remember when I worked at Menards, sometimes we would have to handwrite our own signs, and I hated doing it because I was like, my handwriting looks so terrible. Like, I didn't enjoy it. I felt bad. Oh, here we go. She just loves it and was very excited at the prospect of going to pick out pretty labels and identify my spices for me. She has a very pleasing handwriting, much more than me. After labeling all of my spices, came the time to transfer all of them into the aforementioned containers from bags. This job required a funnel, which we obviously had. I think I know where this is going. However, having about 40 different spices means that you need to wash and dry the funnel between each spice type. While I usually not mind doing it for her, I was cleaning the bathroom at the time and thus didn't know how my girlfriend was doing. She came to me in the bathroom while the bath was running and asked me something that I didn't quite make out, but I heard the words "can I" and "PC cleaner." I also enjoy building, repairing computers as a hobby, so I have an electric blower I use for dusting instead of compressed air cans. Oh, okay, that's cool. I didn't know that those things like existed in like a small, like, I know like air pressure for like refilling your tires that you can have at home. My uncle used to have one, but I did not know about like little ones like that, or at least ones that are like that powerful that could replace can air. Oh, I just yelled out, "Yeah, sure," since it's not the first time she'd use it. A couple minutes later, I realized why would she need my PC cleaner to organize my spices, and left my things there to check on what she was doing. Turns out she was using my cleaner to dust off the leftover spices from the funnel so they wouldn't mix and match together. While explaining it to me, she did the motion of blowing it in the funnel whilst it was right over a spice jar and accidentally activated it. I suppose the universe had it out for us because the spices she was currently transferring was my cayenne pepper. The volatile powder quickly blew out all over my girlfriend's face, and instinctively trying to reach out to her, me as well. And our poor cat witnessing us doofuses. I quickly grabbed her and took her to the bathroom to clean up our faces and attempt to fix the airways, turned the fan on, and shut the door. I'm pretty sure we napalmed the whole kitchen. I'm writing this from the bathroom about 30 minutes since the incident. My poor girlfriend's face is red and wet, and I don't know how bad it is, but the outside world smells spicy. TLDR. Girlfriend borrowed my electric blower to blow funnel. She accidentally blew into my cayenne pepper container, and our kitchen is now a hazardous zone. That would suck so bad. Like, I could only imagine the embarrassment of being like, oh yeah, I've got this, and then all of a sudden, because this sounds definitely something like I would do. This definitely sounds like a mistake I would make, where it would be like, oh yeah, no, it'll be fine, and then bam, just pepper all of us. Because you can't see it, but this is my door, and up top I actually have a thing of pepper spray that I keep by the door just in case somebody decides to fuck around and I can't make it all the way to the bedroom to get our gun. So, and now we're back to sexual stuff. This is just sexy episode, I guess. I don't want to call it that. Please give me something else to talk about. Today I fucked up by telling my English teacher I would whip her. This happened a long time ago when I was about 12 years old. I'm from Slovakia, where we have this really weird tradition during Easter. It's right around the corner. This was obviously before Easter. That involves pouring buckets of water on women and spanking them with whips made out of willow branches, decorated with colorful ribbons that each girl you visit attaches to the rest. That is a very interesting Easter tradition. That's all I'm going to say about that. There are literally groups of guys walking down the street looking like peaky fucking blinders collecting debts during that day. Okay. Understandably, this may appear very bizarre or even barbaric to a foreigner at first glance, as it simply sounds like we go door to door chasing, waterboarding, and beating women. Which is partially true. There is some symbolism behind it. These customs go way back to ancient spring festivals. We pour buckets of water on our women to make sure that they stay as beautiful as they are for the entire year. The same goes for the spanking custom, where it says were we, but it's like where we accidentally ward off evil spirits. Sounds much better now, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Now with this cultural background info in mind, back to my story. I need a moment here. It sounds like we waterboard our women, and we do. That just, the way that it sounds, or the way that they make it sound, it's hilarious to me. I'm sure it's all in good fun, and it's not like in a painful manner or anything like that, or I would hope so. And if it's not, remind me to never visit Slovakia around Easter. I always enjoyed English lessons and then why can I not talk? Seriously, why can I not talk today? I always enjoyed English lessons when I was a kid. However, my grammar and vocabulary were very limited at that time since I was a beginner. One day, a new teacher arrived in our school. She was young, came from Oregon, and was really nice and friendly. I may have had a little crush on her. The fact that she was a native English speaker was very exciting to everyone, and that was the first time I'd interacted with a foreigner in a second language. Okay, so it's not that he's from Slovakia and lives in, like, somewhere that they speak English. He lives in Slovakia. So, just so we're all on the same page. In case, like me, we thought it was a different thing. She often talked about her life in America, her own customs and traditions, such as Thanksgiving or Halloween, that we don't really celebrate here. A couple of months after her arrival, during the Easter holidays, I wanted to demonstrate our customs to her for a change and thought I'd pay her a visit. Naturally, I equipped myself with a small bucket of water, a nice perfume that you add after the whole ordeal is over, and besides granting them an infinite beauty, they also smell nice afterwards. Then, of course, my primary weapon, a traditional willow whip. After getting ready, I made my way to her apartment building, unannounced. So this is all a big old surprise. Once I reached the door, I found her name, got my broken English ready, and confidently buzzed her apartment. She clearly wasn't expecting any visitors and sounded genuinely confused. The dialogue went something like this. Buzz. Yes? Hello, I am. Who is it? It is I. Name. Name? What are you doing here? I came to whip you. I'm sorry? No, it's okay. I come for the traditional whipping. This was followed by dead silence, after which she buzzed me in without saying anything. I went inside thinking this was absolutely smooth conversation and felt quite proud of myself for my impressive English skills. I took the elevator to her floor and knocked on the door. I imagined she must have been quite terrified at that point. She slowly and carefully opened the door, just enough to take a peek at this goofy idiot kid standing there with a smile on his face, holding a whip in his hand and a bucket of water in the other. This ridiculous exchange continued something along these lines. Happy Easter. Name, are you okay? What's going on? You need to be pretty, so I put water on you now, okay? What? No, why? Name, is this a prank? Where are your parents? That would be my question too. It would be like, where the fuck are your parents and why are you here? No, Dad and I go whip my mom and aunt soon. You first. A tradition. Okay, how does it work though? Do I wash my hands and face in the bucket or something? Haha, no. I need to put this water on you and whip you with this. Then you're pretty. Then I'm pretty, okay? Well, I don't know what's happening and I'm a little scared, but go ahead, I guess. Please be careful though. Can you be careful? Thank God I could at least tell that she was in a bit of shock, so luckily I didn't empty the bucket in her face point blank like I would usually do to my female relatives. Instead, I just put my hands in the bucket and gently splashed some water on her with my fingers. She was laughing at this point, but was still visibly confused, saying, "What's going on?" repeatedly. Then I said, "Now I spray this on you so you smell nice, okay?" I took the perfume from my pocket. Haha, I get it. So I'm not pretty and I stink too. Great. That would probably be what I would say. It's like, great, so I'm ugly and I'm nasty. Got it. I mean, I'm definitely ugly, but at least I don't stink. Okay, and now I whip you with this and say a poem. Yes, there's also this ridiculous chant I forgot to mention that men say while putting girls through all of this. I found a spot-on explanation of it when I was looking for a rough translation. So this is the poem, translated. And then there are the absurd chants which more than folklore resemble... Oh. Okay, so it's giving a definition, and then it's going to do that. And which more than folklore resembles lines out of a Monty Python movie. Wacky, wimpy, give no fishy, there's just one thing that I beg, a wonderful Easter egg. That's the poem. She was laughing and hollering the entire time, and once I was done, I immediately followed with, haha, okay, now I want candy. It's also customary for the girls to give kids chocolate eggs, sweets, or even pocket money. Adults get booze. I'm suddenly okay with this. Oh, wait, no, I wouldn't get the booze. I'd have to give it to the guy. Damn it, fuck that, Ned. Never mind. Oh, but I don't have any at home. I'm so sorry. She went to look for something and came back with a Tic Tac or a gum, I think, and apologized again for not having anything better at home. I tried explaining that it's all right and that all I wanted to do was to show her the tradition and left, completely happy with how that all went down. She talked to my former English teacher in school, who then called me to join them and help translate things, so everything was explained and they had a nice laugh about it. However, I'm absolutely mortified thinking back at how clueless I was that day and what an embarrassment that was. TLDR. Back in elementary school, I paid an unannounced visit to my new English teacher from America, and with my broken English told her that I came to whip and pour water on her because I wanted to demonstrate a silly tradition of my country. I think that if it had been better translated, I think she would have been more down for it. It was still awkward, and I think maybe if she just would have had a heads up, she would have been okay. But just be like, knock knock, hi, I'm from the school. I'm a student, and I'm here to pour water on you and whip you with this tree branch, and then you give me candy, because I want you to be pretty. So give it here. I don't know how else to put it, but that's really fun. It's kind of cute, like, thinking about it, and, like, for, like, little kids, but then I think as they get older and it's, like, adults carry on with this, too, I'm just kind of like, now it's getting a little weird for me. Thinking about it for, like, little kids is cute, but, I mean, I don't know, it's hard, because it's, like, part of me is, like, oh, like, little kids, like the little ones, they probably wouldn't hit that hard, but kids hit fucking hard. They hit, like, hella hard. Okay. Today I fucked up by eating popcorn. I love popcorn. I eat it, like, daily. Sometimes a couple times a day. So I had a date with this lady, and she was a real pretty thing, but you could tell she was kind of energetic. A little bit anxious and bouncy. Let's call her anxiety. To counter that, I made our first date have some activities like walking, bowling, etc. after a movie. I mean, that sounds like fun. So on the day of our date, I wake up and run my typical morning routine. I make myself a huge bowl of popcorn and melt a bunch of butter over it. I mean, breakfast of champions right there, right? After a little while, I spruce myself up and head to the theater. Anxiety has already driven up to the theater and was waiting for me, but no issues. Got out of the car and ran up and gave me a quick hug. This is when things went sideways. Not the hug, her face. So you already went on a date? Anxiety says plainly. More of an accusation than a question. What? Huh? I respond, very confused. I'm not an idiot. And then it says, oh, you/genetic Reddit username. I can tell. What in the hell are you talking about? I responded, sure that she must be kidding. Oh my gosh, I'm done, she groaned, turned around and got back in her car and left. I decided to sit in the theater for a bit since I had already bought the tickets. I chill in the recreational area as I tried to process what just happened. Joke about it a bit with a couple folks while texting her. No response for a few minutes, and then I get this. you/genetic Redditor username. Guess what? I know you think you're oh so smart and slick or whatever, but I could smell the popcorn. I don't know what kind of idiot you think I am, but I'm not going through this again. Bye. Suddenly an oh shit moment on my side. I tried explaining things to her, but anxiety immediately blocked my number on texts and my profiles on social media. I never saw or heard from her again. I saw the movie, went home, and dwelled on my life over a bowl of freshly made stove-popped popcorn with extra butter. TLDR. Ate popcorn before a movie date. She thought I already went on another date because I smelled like popcorn. Immediate breakup and blocking of number on social media. You'd think that it would be like, that would be something that would like come up before the date. It'd be like, oh yeah, like, oh, I'm really excited to see this movie. It's like, I'm really excited for the popcorn. I love popcorn. I eat it like all the time, like multiple times a day. Just that little tidbit would have like prevented this whole thing. Just in my eyes, that would have prevented like this whole big thing. I can't imagine liking popcorn that much, but I mean, damn. That's something. Oh. So this is a thick one. I don't want to necessarily say long, but it's a thick one. Today I fucked up by cutting my finger on a broken test tube that I was culturing an unknown strain of bacteria in. Basically, I took off the cap and the glass was broken underneath, and I managed to barely nick my finger. I had a liquid culture growing in the tube and have no idea if I got in my cut at all because my hands sweat constantly and are always wet. Ugh. I am an undergrad researcher and I work on a project that is isolating and identifying bacteria found in howler monkey feces at the local zoo, as well as comparing it to some control samples from around their habitats. I am not very good at it, but this is the first time I've injured myself despite being a clumsy idiot most of the time. Yo. So I asked one of the bio professors at my school, who was initially worried, it is a bad idea to start a sentence with, who do I tell if I injure myself in the lab, without clarifying that it is a ridiculously tiny cut. And they tell me to call campus police so they can fill out a report. Ooh, excuse me. So I call them, they have no idea what I'm talking about, and I just go to student health. Student health is baffled as I try to explain to them that it is a tiny cut. I definitely don't need stitches, but I may have been exposed to an unknown bacteria. I tell them that the bacteria was a control from the quarantine howler monkey habitat at the zoo, and they're all worried because they think it was some random wild monkey who was probably sick. So I'm trying to explain to them that they just quarantine every monkey that they get, and this guy just came from a different zoo. They keep asking what the name of the bacteria is so they can go look it up. I tell them I don't know what kind of bacteria it is, but it's gram-positive, and if they really want me to, and I can do some antibiotic resistance test on it next week. They ask for my professor's contact info so they can ask him, and I try to explain to them that he is on sabbatical and there is not a single person in the world who knows what this strain of bacteria actually is. The doctor initially suggests I just do a prophylactic course of antibiotics, but I didn't want that because antibiotic resistance, so she called the county health department, who are also completely baffled, but say just to treat it like any other cut and contact the state department of health. By the time this is all over, I have been told nothing useful. Everyone is confused and mildly concerned, and I'm exhausted and hungry because I missed my lunch and my nap while I'm sitting in a doctor's office for an hour writing down everything I know about this bacteria. Afterwards, I go to campus police, and this time student health called ahead and said that they need to do a report. The campus police officer was also baffled but took down my report. I ended up explaining all of my research to him because he has no idea what I'm talking about, and at the end of the day, all I know is that the strain is gram-positive. At this point, I can finally go home tomorrow, but I have to meet with someone at my school to talk about how we can prevent injuries in the future. I was completely exhausted at this point, so when I got home, I took like a 2-hour nap, and now I won't be able to sleep at night. I got a call back from the doctor saying that the state DOH, Department of Health, called them back and said to just watch out for any warning signs of infection and that I might as well do antibiotic resistant testing on it in case I do start to die and need antibiotics, I guess. She said I was her first monkey bacteria patient and was laughing the entire time. I was too, because what else are you supposed to do when a tiny cut turns into an all-day ordeal? The state DOH also said that since this type of monkey isn't known for carrying zoonotic diseases, other than like gastrointestinal stuff, people get anyway, they aren't super concerned, and it's not, since it was a wild monkey, I probably won't get sick. I still don't think anyone understands what the bacteria in question did not come from, I still don't think anyone understands that the bacteria in question did not come from monkey feces, but from around where the monkey was living. TLDR. Cut myself on a dirty test tube with monkey habitat bacteria in it. No one knew what to do. Everyone is confused. I am tired. If you hear about a new zoonotic monkey disease taking over the planet, it might be my fault. So if we get COVID-20, it's this person's fault. I'm joking. And we're back to sexual stuff. Once again, we have another not safe for work story. Today I fucked up by jacking off too much. Well, until today, anyway, I, 19M, finally explored my girlfriend's 18F body and lost my virginity. I was happy doing it with her, but then while we were doing it, I realized something. I couldn't feel anything. This sounds like a conversation you should be having with your doctor, mate. And my donger was starting to become soft, even though the woman of my dreams was literally on top of me, riding it. She was feeling good, and she said I was doing great, but soon enough, she was already getting tired, and she asked me why I haven't came yet. Not wanting to make her think she wasn't satisfying me, I blamed the rubber and started eating her out to distract her. It took me 4 hours and 3 condoms to finally shoot my load, and it was the best one I had in all my life. Still, I wish I would have came more and really enjoyed my first time with her, and I wish I didn't choke my donger as much as I did before today and desensitize my dick so much, so that I could have felt things better. On the bright side, I learned a lot of things about a woman's body. One of the things I learned is that the clit isn't as hard to find as people make it out to be. My girl was happy. I was so relieved when she said that I wasn't as small as I thought I was, which has definitely boosted my confidence. And lastly, my friends cannot tease the shit out of me for being a virgin anymore, because I'm no longer one. So to my virgin brethren out there, don't jack off too much or you won't enjoy your first time. TLDR. I jacked off too much before I lost my virginity and couldn't enjoy my first time as much as I wanted to. At least my girl was happy, I guess. There is also an edit. Thanks for all the advice, guys. I read a lot of comments, and yeah, I feel like nerves were also a big part of why I took so long, probably because I was scared of not being able to satisfy her. To answer some of the questions, yes, we did take breaks within those 4 hours. I boned her for like 3 times only, and most of the time was either us touching each other or eating lunch, and yes, we did try a whole lot of other positions, not just her on top. There was a small problem of our height difference, though, but we managed to work around it with pillows, and lastly, yeah, my condom was probably too tight. That is a thing. So yeah, make sure you have condoms that fit, especially if you want to be safe, and apparently not lose blood supply in your wiener. Thanks for y'all's advice, and I'll make sure to lay off the jacking off so our next time will be better. Cheers. I don't want to do another sexual one, because that's what this whole episode has been, and this is the last one I have in this album. Fuck it, I guess this is just a sexy episode. That's what the episode's called. It's a sexy episode, guys. This one is also not safe for work. Today I fucked up by telling a teacher that a student fingered another teacher. I really hope that it was just a big verbal misunderstanding, and you mean like they flipped him off, because I don't want to read about that. In my defense, I am Arab. This is actually not an excuse. I speak better English than Arabic, but, I still falter. So it is an excuse. I, 17F, tend to get confused a lot, especially when I'm sleep deprived. I think that is fair for about all of us. And on that particular day, I had barely gotten any sleep. In a school near us, there was a teacher who ratted out a kid who sold drugs, and he got arrested. His best friend was so angry at the teacher, he flipped her off. Okay, that's exactly where I was hoping this was going. And he told her to fuck off and go to hell. My brother had a video of it, and he showed me it. I knew my teacher knew that teacher, so I thought I'd tell her. So there I was, sitting in class, and we were all chatting, and so I said, hey, did you hear what happened? And I start telling the story, and I said, so then he fingered her. Fingered her! Yeah, I think that's right. She stared at me in horror and said, what? He what? A guy in my class started laughing. My best friend was next to me and couldn't hold in her laugh. I was so confused for a moment, and then I said, oh. And then the whole class lost it. I can only imagine being like a junior or a senior in high school and being like, and then he fingered her. He fucking what? He done what? I can only imagine, like, the horror and the embarrassment in that moment of being like, that's not what I meant. I am so fucking sorry. Oh, my teacher was laughing her ass off, and I said, no, what's the word? Someone give me the fucking word. I was panicking here because I was so embarrassed. And then a guy said, flipped, and I said, he flipped her off. That's what I meant. It was too late, for now everyone was laughing, and I wanted to kill myself. I put my head onto the table and just said, fuck my life. For the whole day, people kept telling me he fingered her, and it was actually kind of funny, but I'm still embarrassed. My teacher said I definitely made class interesting, and I told her I was about to make it more interesting and kill myself in front of them. TLDR was trying to tell my teacher a story and said he fingered her instead of he flipped her off. I don't have words. I don't have words for that. Because, I have messed up plenty of words in my life. I have definitely never said he fingered somebody instead of saying he flipped him off. But it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, I think we've all kind of been in a situation where we said something and we've meant something else, and the word has eluded us. I've done it plenty of times even on this podcast, where it's like I'm trying to think of a word, and so I say a similar word, and I'm like, that just doesn't sound as right as what the word I'm trying to think of is. So I feel bad. I feel bad for the girl. That's terrible. But unfortunately, I am out of stories at the moment, so I will have to get way more than the ones that I have. I will have to load up this weekend, which I will do. And also, this weekend is my appearance, again, my second appearance on the Ice Cream Sunday podcast, which I am super, super excited to do again. I love Austin and Trevor. They are so much fun. We always have fun talking. So I'm excited to see what we're going to talk about and what the guys have in store for me this Sunday. I think it'll be really fun. And as soon as I know more information about when that episode is coming out, I will let you guys know. But until then, thanks everyone for listening today. I hope you all enjoyed the podcast. If you know someone who likes my content, feel free to send me their way in a share. If you would like to send me a message with your own story, rant, question, unpopular opinion, or if you want me to tell others how you fucked up today, or any day, send me a message via any of my social media found in the description. Just look for my cute little avatar you see on whatever app you're listening on. Please, give a rating if you enjoyed what you heard today. I hear that they help out tremendously. And as always, I will catch y'all next time. Bye! And as always, for everybody watching post time on either Twitch or YouTube, feel free to give me a like, a comment, a share, hit the bell icon if you're on YouTube. That way you get notified when the video goes up. If you're on Twitch, go ahead and give me a follow. And that way you will get notified when I do go live, so you can see the chaos of what this is when it's happening, because we all know it's fun. But yeah, I'm sorry for such a shorter episode today. I didn't think that I had that little amount of stories. I guess a lot of them were 2-pagers, so that probably what threw me off. But yeah, so I will see you guys next time. I hope you guys all have a good weekend, and I will see you on Monday. Bye!